Welcome to this explainer on the best foods for brain health. Today, we're going to look at your brain not just as another organ, but as a seriously demanding, high-performance engine. I am so thrilled to guide you through this because, well, if you've ever hit that wall of afternoon brain fog or had a sudden memory lapse where you completely blank on a name, you've actually felt the direct result of what you've been feeding this engine. We're going to break down exactly how to fuel your mind for peak cognitive performance, both for today and for decades down the line.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer disproportion of it all. Think about this for a second. Your brain makes up only about 2% of your total body weight. I mean, that is incredibly small, right? Just a tiny, tiny fraction of your physical mass.
But here's where that high-performance engine analogy really kicks in. Despite being just 2% of your weight, your brain actually gobbles up roughly 20% of the calories you eat every single day. Since it's pulling in such a staggering amount of energy, it is exceptionally sensitive to exactly what kind of fuel you're putting on your plate. So nutrient deficiencies, or those inflammatory fats we hear so much about, they don't just affect your waistline, they literally and immediately impact your cognitive output.
Let's jump into Section 1, the science of brain fuel. We're going to explore the mechanics of this engine and the scientific enemies it faces on a daily basis.
So how do we fight those enemies? Well, with premium fuel, of course. Now, there's no single magic miracle food here. Instead, it's about a dietary pattern, primarily guided by decades of research into what's known as the MIND diet. This is essentially a science-backed mashup of the Mediterranean and DASH diets, and the results are pretty incredible. Long-term studies actually show that people who closely follow these principles experience measurably slower rates of cognitive decline.
Moving on to Section 2, the brain health menu. Let's chunk this premium fuel into functional groups to see exactly how they protect and build your brain over time.
Meet our first functional group, the protectors. And this comparison brilliantly illustrates their power. In one widely cited long-term study, researchers actually found that folks who ate roughly 1 serving of leafy greens a day showed a rate of cognitive decline comparable to someone a full decade younger than people who rarely ate them. I mean, think about that. 10 years of cognitive youth just from eating your greens.
So what exactly are these protectors? Well, it's your leafy greens, stuff like kale, spinach, and arugula, which are super dense in vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta-carotene. And right alongside them on the defense line are berries. We're talking blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, which are just absolutely packed with flavonoids and anthocyanins. Consistent near-daily intake of these protective plant pigments and antioxidants basically acts like a giant fire extinguisher, helping to calm down inflammation and reduce oxidative stress right there in your brain tissue.
Next up, we've got the structural builders. You know how neurons are wrapped in membranes made largely out of fat? Well, they specifically crave DHA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid found abundantly in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. And here's the catch. Your brain can't really produce much DHA on its own. It relies entirely on you eating these structural builders to maintain its cell membranes. We've also got nuts and seeds in this group, things like walnuts, almonds, and chia seeds, which provide vitamin E and plant-based omega-3s. Eating these is actually directly linked to having larger brain volume and faster processing speeds. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, now here is a really fascinating question that researchers are spending a ton of time on right now. What does your gut have to do with your mind? The connection between your stomach and your cognitive health is just an explosive area of new research, and it actually leads us perfectly into our next functional fuel group.
To keep that engine running smoothly without stalling out, you need sustained energy sources. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice, along with beans and legumes, provide a steady, slow-release source of glucose. This is exactly what prevents those sharp blood sugar spikes and crashes that give you that dreaded afternoon brain fog. Plus, they offer B vitamins that regulate homocysteine, an amino acid linked to cognitive decline. But tying this back to our gut question, beans and legumes are super rich in soluble fiber. This fiber feeds a healthy gut microbiome, which in turn appears to lower inflammation levels throughout your entire body, including your brain.
Now, fats are absolutely essential for your brain, but the type of fat is critical. Sadly, this means swapping out heavily processed oils, margarine, and, yes, I know, even butter, for extra virgin olive oil. It's really a cornerstone for better long-term cognitive outcomes. Extra virgin olive oil is prized in the MIND diet for its monounsaturated fats and antioxidant polyphenols, which directly counteract the inflammation promoted by those saturated, brain-draining fats.
To top off our premium fuel, we have my personal favorites, the enhancers. But there's a very important caveat here: moderation. Having 1 to 3 cups of coffee or tea per day is actually linked to a lower risk of developing dementia. Green tea even has this amazing amino acid called L-theanine that promotes a really nice calm alertness. And high-percentage dark chocolate, we're talking 70% cocoa or higher, delivers flavonoids that improve blood flow right to the brain. However, heavy, late-day caffeine disrupts sleep, and quality sleep is absolutely critical for your memory. So for sure, enjoy these enhancers, but just time them wisely.
Let's move into Section 3, foods that drain you. We know what makes the engine purr, so now we briefly need to look at the bad fuel, the stuff that causes wear, tear, and cognitive decline.
We call these the engine damagers. Diets high in processed red meats, fried or fast foods, sugary snacks, and full-fat cheese are strongly associated with much faster cognitive decline. The absolute crucial takeaway here is the vascular connection. You see, brain health is intimately tied to cardiovascular health. These high-sodium, high-sugar, saturated fat foods cause vascular damage. Quite simply, what is bad for your heart and your blood vessels is fundamentally bad for your brain. It literally restricts the vital flow of oxygen and nutrients that your vulnerable neurons desperately need to survive.
All right, Section 4, your weekly brain plan. So how do we translate all of this science into a realistic, everyday maintenance schedule for your brain? Well, here's a highly practical, evidence-backed checklist straight from the Mind Diet research that you can use to start hitting those targets. Notice that it's actually really achievable. You're aiming for leafy greens almost every day, so at least 6 servings a week, berries at least twice a week, fatty fish 1 to 2 times, and you just kind of weave in nuts and beans throughout your week. It's all about building a consistent dietary pattern, not obsessing over absolute perfection every single day. Rounding out the plan, you want to focus on daily staples. Try to get at least 3 servings of whole grains a day to keep that slow-release glucose flowing, and make sure you're using extra virgin olive oil as your primary cooking fat. If you do consume alcohol, particularly wine, keep it to a maximum of 1 glass a day. And just as importantly, you have to actively restrict those limit foods, the engine damagers we talked about, because they really do drain your cognitive reserves over time. Now, as powerful as nutrition is, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Remember, literally no amount of blueberries can outwork chronic sleep deprivation or a completely sedentary lifestyle. Your diet interacts dynamically with your physical activity, the quality of your sleep, and how well you manage stress. And of course, if you're managing a specific health condition, you should always consult a doctor before making any major medical diet changes. But overall, a consistently brain-supportive diet truly gives your mind a massive, evidence-backed advantage as you age. Since this demanding 20% calorie-burning engine of yours never stops running, I want to leave you with this one final thought. Every single meal is a choice between building up your cognitive reserves or depleting them. Your brain is always eating. So, what are you feeding your mind today?